Friendliness, resilience, openness. What kind of moral value should they have?
I think a principal has to be a people person. A principal has to be a leader. There's a difference between a manager and a leader. A manager just manages systems. A leader brings change. I think that's one of the prime differences between a leader and a manager. I want a leader. I want a guy or a lady that's going to come in and they're going to make changes that are going to actually make the place better. I want them to lead us, not to follow. I don't want someone to just come and say, okay, let's get the system in place and we'll just coast, that kind of thing. So I want those kinds of things to happen. But then they have to have skills. They have to understand education. They have to know how to manage people. They have to know how to deal with kids. They have to know how to deal with parents. I mean, there's many skills. And I don't have like a checklist. I don't think it works to just have a checklist of skills for a principal. But when you get to be my age, you kind of know who's a good principal and who's not a good principal just by talking to other people, talking to their references. I can tell. And then I have questions that I ask that sometimes just come out of my heart. And I also look at the school they came from, so I want to know what were they like in that school. But I'll tell you the best way to hire a principal. This is what I think is the best principal you can hire, the best way to hire a principal. The best principal that you can hire for your school is a principal that you hired as a teacher when they were young. And then you developed their leadership skills through the years. And they became a lead teacher. Then they became an assistant principal, then they became a principal, and then maybe later they'll take your place and become a superintendent. That's the best kind of leadership that develops from underneath. When you bring in a leader from the outside, you don't know what you're getting. But when you bring in a leader that you have watched for many years become mature and become a leader, then that's the best kind of leader you can have. They know you, you know them. And our school system that I came from in China is full of those kinds of leaders. The top leaders in the company now are people that we developed as young teachers, and they have come up through the system. For example, our principal here at VAIS, she came to our school in Qingdao as just a raw teacher right out of college, and we have developed her, and she became a counselor, and she became head of counseling, and she became an administrator, and then she became a mobilizer of teachers. Then she came here and she became our principal, and I've watched her leadership skills grow, and so I know her, and I know that she is a dependable, wonderful leader. Now, if I just hired her from nowhere, I wouldn't know that. They could come and work for 2 months and then, no, this isn't going to work. And I just met a principal in Albania. She said, I need to hire an American principal for my school. And she found a woman and she told me, this woman is perfect for the job. 2 months later, she was gone because she didn't really want to be there. She just wanted to be there to travel, to have an adventure. She didn't really care about the school. So first of all, there's a problem with the way they picked her. But secondly, there's always a problem with someone coming from outside. You just don't know what you're getting. So those are just some of the things I think about when I'm picking a principal.
Did you learn these things from your experience as a teacher?
My experience?
Yes.
Yeah, I started as a teacher and a coach, and then I became what we call an athletic director, which has a lot of administration in it. And so I found that I actually had better administrative gifts than teaching gifts. I can teach, but it's not what motivates me. What motivates me was the administration. And so then I moved into administration. Somebody hired me to be a school principal. I said, I don't have any experience as a school principal. And they said, oh, you have administrative gifts, we can see this. I said, well, then you have to train me. So they sent me to get my master's in school administration. And so it was a long process. Now, what else happened was after I became a principal, and then I began to start schools, and then I became a superintendent of schools, I found out that God had also given me this ability to be a pioneer, a gift of vision. And so I can see where things need to start, and I can go start them and then move to the next thing. So I just see God in each person developing these gifts, and it depends what your season of life is.